Hey guys, welcome back to Premium Picks. In a minute, A Train's going to join me and we are going to break down UFC on ABC 5. Before we do that, I'm going to do a very quick recap of UFC Fight Night Vettori versus Cannonier. Um, we'll go fight by fight real quickly. Bukaskas versus Pauga, we had that. We had Bukaskas, he won. Ronnie Lawrence versus Argueda. I said Argueda, the dog, was going to win that fight. We should have won that. They called it a no contest because saying he didn't tap, which maybe he didn't, but he was getting absolutely ragdolled, so we got that right. Bleda versus Fernandez, we got that right. Bleda won that fight, and we said Fernandez had the puncher's chance as the dog, and she showed that, but Bleda battled through it. She did what she had to do. Here's the big one: Hernandez versus Bondar. We did have Bondar on a bunch of parlays. We pulled all of those bets. I hope you guys saw our videos. I'm going to post a picture here in a second. At 2:34, I pulled all those bets. I read a very interesting article on Sherdog that essentially said Bondar was a fraud, that his record was essentially plagiarized, like he had a falsified record, falsified victories that never actually even happened. It was a big red flag. I'm not even sure 100% sure if that's true or false. I think there's got to be some truth to it. It was written by the Sherdog editors on their site, so I'm going to believe it. That was actually a phenomenal fight, by the way. No knock on Bondar. Hernandez looked amazing, but I did pull all those bets. I hope you guys did too. I was messaging people saying, pull this bet, pull this bet. I hope you guys pulled it. I hope that didn't cost you. And then moving on, we had Kong versus Quinones. We got that wrong, but hey, that's the way it goes. Costa versus Flick, exactly the way we thought it would go. Costa knocked him out, tooled him on the feet exactly like we thought. We both had money on that. We both won money on that. Dalby versus Salikov, same thing we said. We said dog or pass. We said Salikov's not that good. Dalby has a live chance to win here, and he did exactly what he did. We said boring, we said over, and that's exactly what he did. Torres versus Mata, exactly the way we thought it was going to go, under with a fast knockout, and we both had Torres, and that was a brutal knockout, wicked fight. I'm very excited to see that guy fight again. I want to see him against a wrestler, see how his takedown defense is, and I'm sure whoever he fights next will be shooting at the leg, so we're going to find that out real soon. After that, we had Sabatini and Almeida. I did have a splash on Almeida as an underdog. I said not a parlay piece, just a single bet. I think he could catch Sabatini with a knockout. Clearly he didn't. He got dominated, but that was not a parlay piece. Then we had Petrosian and Petrosian and Duncan, Leroy Duncan. That was a pretty good fight. Leroy Duncan showed some bad fight IQ. Had some decent kicks, but he just had no answer with the hands, and he was just fighting stupid, almost like Yoel Romero last night. Just stupid, dancing around, no fight IQ. Decent fight. Co-main event, exactly like we thought. Actually, you know what? Armin didn't dominate. You know what? It was actually a bad look by Armin, but he did get the win. He did get the finish, which we said if you're going to play him, you almost have to play inside the distance. You're not going to play minus 1100. You're going to play minus 350 inside the distance. So that's what we did. We hit it barely, but we did hit it. And also, like, that was a douchey bad look by him, calling out Dariush. Like, Dariush just lost. You don't call out a loser. Like, I don't know. I'm not a big Armin fan. I think that's a bad look. I think that's he's always douchey to me personally. But he hit for us, so whatever. No complaints there. And then the main event, Cannonier versus Marvin Meathead. Marvin Meathead showed that legendary granite chin. Unfortunately, he didn't get the decision. We said this fight's going to go the distance. We thought he'd win the decision, but we said there's no way he's getting knocked out. He has a wicked chin. He showed that. Holy hell, what a beating he took. So all in all, our picks as a whole won. Like, we won more picks than we didn't. All the parlays that we pulled, and we posted that in our video to pull them, everybody. So I hope you guys did too. Ended up being a very small night for us. But on to the next one, and the next one's good. We're going to find some spots. So like and subscribe, and we will break down UFC on ABC 5. Okay, guys, first fight of the night, we got Zhalgas Zumagulov versus Joshua Van. This is a very short notice fight. This happened out of nowhere. Zhalgas was supposed to be fighting last weekend. Joshua Van, completely unknown, 7-1 with 7 finishes. So, I mean, that looks pretty good. But we don't know who he's fought, the level of that competition. There's no odds on this fight. There's actually no odds on any of the fights on Bet365 yet. Maybe some of the other books have. I haven't even looked at them. So these are going to be completely unbiased picks from me here. I don't even know who's the favorite here. This fight, I'll take Zhalgas until I see some tape. I will watch later in the week. Don't have too much to say on this fight because I don't really know Joshua Van. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know him that well. He looks like a finisher from what I have read and seen in like clips and highlights. But clips and highlights are meant to make a guy look good anyways, right? So yeah, I don't know. I'm looking to see if Best Fight Odds has anything out yet. Does Best Fight Odds have anything out for these fights? Yeah, they do.
I'll do that. Yeah, because I don't know the odds for any of these fights, which is interesting. Writing your picks without knowing the odds. I wonder if I have any underdog picks here or not.
They haven't released odds on this fight. It's just brand new, right? So we shall see. I guess Zhalgas is getting the rub here, so we'll have to see what the odds are when you bet on Zhalgas. When he's too big of a favorite, he's not very noteworthy. So yeah, that's where I am right now on it.
All right, moving on. We got another late replacement, last minute fight. We have Trevor Peak versus Jose Mariscal, not Jose Masvidal, Jose Mariscal. Trevor Peak originally had an easier fight in Martinez. Martinez just pulled out, and now we got this replacement here. Funny thing to note going through Jose's record here is he has a win over Pat Sabatini. That's a pretty good win. Trevor Peak 8-0, one of the most entertaining fights ever. If you saw his last fight in the UFC, it was crazy. He was throwing standing hammer fists. It was wild, and he scored the first round knockout, and then gave an epic in the ring post fight interview. It was so epic that Bruce Buffer went over with a paper and pen in the ring, octagon, sorry, and asked for his autograph. He goes, "I've never seen a performance like that. I want your autograph." It was just such a funny fight. So I think everybody's big on the Peak train. I think this fight's actually harder for him. I'm not big on Peak. I think eventually he's going to be exposed. He's so flaky and weird and out there. But I'll root for him. I hope he gets another Peak knockout. So I'll lean Peak for now. I'm going to watch more tape on it. What do you think?
It reminds me of fucking Blake Builder. This is what's fake. This is what's fucking with me. Well, anyway, this was the Mariscal here, Jose. He has fought quite a bit more than just Sabatini. He's lost Sean Soriano, who is in the UFC, Steve Garcia, who's pretty good, Joe Anderson Brito, who's pretty good. He fought the Yusuf Zalal, who was pretty decent. Lost to Bryce Mitchell and Gregor Gillespie. So,
But he was
no,
KO'd by a lot of them, right?
yeah, but it's still the experience getting in the ring with those guys, right? So so this is not a pushover for Peak. I mean, Peak's got the UFC sort of like experience on this guy. But at what level does Peak really have this UFC experience? So he beat Eric Gonzalez, who was knocked out also by our friend Jim Miller, I believe. So and so I guess this also depends on how confident are you in Peak. And he was minus 275 against Martinez, but Martinez was a lot worse of a fighter. Just that one, the under though. I like the under here, regardless of what the line is on any of these things. I like the under in this fight.
Yeah, because
Uh,
when Peak gets exposed, he's going to get exposed in a bad way.
right. And this guy here, Mariscal and Jose. Let's go with Jose. Jose, he's a TKO in his last three, and then he was TKO'd in the two before. So yeah, he comes after it. I feel like a finish is gonna happen under 2.5. I'm gonna stay with Trevor Peak. In our Thursday video, I might change, but for now, I'm gonna stay with Trevor Peak.
Do you have all the odds there in front of you for this
Yeah,
card?
yeah, I do.
You want to after I make my choice without knowing, when you say yours, do you want to just tell us the odds on each fight too?
Sure. I haven't looked at them myself, so I
So
may
what do
want.
we have there on Peak and Jose?
They don't have. They have that one's just brand new. They haven't listed it yet.
All right. Moving on, we got Jamal Emmers versus Jack Jenkins. The whole world seems to love Jack Jenkins. I actually think Emmers is a pretty decent fighter. I don't. I'd be interested again, and where the odds are, that might sway my bet. Emmers has been in there with a much better competition. he has a split decision loss with that Giga Chikadze, who's a very good striker, very good fighter. I got to think Giga's a better striker than Jack Jenkins. Depending on the odds here, I might be on the Emmers side, to be honest. I'm not huge on Jack Jenkins. I'm not huge on him. What do you got, and what are the odds?
The odds are minus 175, which is fair on Jamal Emmers. Because Jack Jenkins was a big favorite in his last fight. I picked him, and he won, but he was tiring by the end of that second round to that third round. He put on a frenetic pace on Don Shanis, but he should have wiped the floor with Don Shanis. So the fact that he let this guy back into the fight because he was slowing down, and then Emmers put on a pretty good show against his last fight there. Who did he fight? What was that guy's name? The undefeated guy that came into the UFC was like 20-1. It was Hussein Askabov. Remember that guy?
Oh, he won. He upset the guy.
Yeah, he kicked it. It was unanimous, right? Though he had it was 30-27s in my book, right? So yeah, he beat that guy. So I don't know. I don't think Jack Jenkins is not Jamal Emmers' takedown defense is 100%. Not even Pat Sabatini took him down. He jumped into that heel hook, right? So like this guy Jamal Emmers is a pretty darn good wrestler as well. So I don't see Jack Jenkins taking him down. I see Jack Jenkins could be taken down. He does put on a decent sized pace. So yeah, so Jack's not going to be able to employ his wrestling here. So how is he going to deal with that in a fight? He's been in his Dana White contender series fight and his last fight. He got 4 takedowns. What happens when he doesn't get those 4 takedowns? Because he's not getting 4 takedowns on Jamal Emmers. So this is Emmers' fight where he wants it to be and when he wants to do with it. And when the guy has more ways to win, I pick Emmers.
All right, moving on. We got Randy Brown versus Wellington Turman. It should be a decent fight, and I know the whole world, I'm sure the popular pick is Randy Brown, but Randy Brown can be knocked out. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to compare Turman to Jack Della Maddalena. I'm not going to do that, but Turman can bang in his own right. He does have some knockout wins, but the big question mark is he's dropping from middleweight. So I don't know what he's going to look like. I don't know if that's going to be good for him or if that's going to be bad for him. For me, I almost think the play here is under because I think Turman has to knock him out or he's gonna get knocked out. So for me, I'm liking so far as an early prediction doesn't go the distance. What do you think, and what are the odds?
The odds are where's Rude Boy Randy Brown? Because he's my pick. I love that. Minus 250, which I think is fair. Yeah, minus 250 for Brown. I mean, Wellington Turman, like he's a ground fighter. His striking isn't particularly good. The only guys he's beaten is Sam Alvey and Misha Cherkinov in his last 5 fights, right? He lost to Andrew Sanchez. Oh my God. He lost to Bruno Silva. That one's okay. And then he lost to Andre Petrosky. I mean, Randy Brown is losing to Jack Bell Malalena and Vincente Luque, Nico Price, and Bilal Muhammad. So those are like completely on a different kind of level. I just think like dropping down. Randy's 6'3". He has a 78-inch reach on this guy. So
it's a Randy Brown knockout. You just talked me into it.
yeah. And Wellington Turman has showed a bad chin too from time to time. Got KO'd by Bruno Silva, got KO'd by Andrew Sanchez. Oh, that is such a bad look. Such a bad look. And yeah, he's 72. He's got 6-inch reach on him, Randy Brown. Yeah, this is Randy Brown all day for me. Very confident pick. I was confident in Randy. I love Rude Boy Randy Brown. So yeah, I'm confident in the Rude Boy.
All right, you sold me, and I'm gonna go a step further and say inside the distance.
Ooh, yeah. You think he subs the sub artist? That'd be sick.
Well, I could knock him out. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. He has good striking too.
All right, moving on. We got a heavyweight banger: Justin Tafa versus Austin Lane. Simply put, if you want a conservative pick, it's not going the distance. Tafa's got all his wins by knockout. Austin Lane, I think, has like 11 or 10 knockouts. So they're both knockout guys or finishes, sorry, for Lane at least. I got Justin Tafa by knockout. 100%. I got Justin Tafa by knockout. This is not his brother who looked like shit last fight. Justin Tafa can bang. And Austin Lane has been knocked out by worse fighters. He's been knocked out by Greg Hardy. He's been knocked out enough time. Like, well, I know it's only 3 losses, but he's shown he can be knocked out by lesser fighters. I got Justin Tafa by knockout. What do you got?
So the funny fact, when Justin Tafa throws less than like 10 strikes, he's 3-0 in the UFC. Right? You know what I mean? So I was looking at it. So when he throws like high volume striking, like in the 80s and stuff, he's losing those fights to Jared Vanderaa and some other guy. Who was it again? He lost by decision to no, Vander and Felipe, right? But he threw like a lot of strikes in those, over 80 in both of those. He beats Juan Adams 10, Harry Hunsucker 5, Parker Porter 8. So these are the guys that Justin Tafa here to bring, the Austin Lane. So you look at Austin Lane, yeah, very quick finishes early first round. Yeah, I'm going Tafa knockout. That's all.
Probably first round.
Probably first round.
What,
Otherwise,
what are the odds? What are the odds on that fight?
It's tough as the favorite for sure. I'm going to see minus 185. Not even
I'm
half
gonna hammer
bad.
that. I'm gonna hammer that.
That's not even half bad.
All right. Moving on, we got Neil Magny and Philip Rowe. Again, I'm sure the fan favorite. Everybody's going to be on the Magny side. Full disclosure, I'm a Neil Magny hater. He seems like a nice guy. I don't mean the person. I don't hate the person, but I hate his fighting style. He wants to wall install. He wants to grind you. I find him like next level boring. Philip Rowe, it can be extremely explosive when he lets his strikes fly. Like he can score knockouts. So, but sometimes he's low output, and that drives me fucking insane because I feel like if he lets his strikes fly, he can win this fight by knockout. But if he doesn't come out right away striking, he will get tangled up in that Neil Magny fight style. And if it goes any length of time, Magny strives in those long fights. So it's going to be a quick Rowe knockout, but it's probably not going to happen. Or it's going to be a stretched out Magny like decision. I don't think Magny's going to tap him. I don't think so. Probably a Magny decision, but I'm rooting for the Philip Rowe knockout. What are the odds, and what do you have?
The odds on Rowe and Magny minus 150 for Magny. These are the kind of fights Magny wins, though, man. These
I
are the
know.
kind
I
of
just hate the
fights.
guy.
I know you hate the guy, so don't listen to this guy's pick. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, you're
No,
right. You're right. You're right.
you can't hold those disdains in your heart, man. But yeah, Neil, this is the kind of fight he wins, right? Pressures him up against the cage, takes him down, lets him up, takes him down again, pushes him some. He lost his last fight. So if Magny wants to keep, building for whatever career he thinks he has, but we know he doesn't, he's going to try to win this fight. This is the kind of guys he wins against. Philip Rowe was losing that fight to Nico Price before he knocked him out in the third round. So
Yeah, he fucking unleashed on him.
you think Magny's too safe to let him do that to him, and he'll find himself on his butt if he tries to do that because like fucking I don't know, man. Who took him down? Who was it again? Took him down. He got taken down 4 times by Jason Witt, and Jason Witt has no chin. That's why he won that. Or Jankowski took him down 2 times. That's the path to victory there. Neil
I mean,
Magny's
Magny's not an amazing wrestler. He's got good grappling, not so much the rest.
yeah, but like is Philip Rowe an amazing fighter? Like this is we know Magny's has big wins in the UFC, so and they're bigger than Philip Rowe ever was. And I don't think Magny's shot yet. So at minus 150, decision probably like minus 170 plus 175. I like him. I like him a lot.
All right. Moving on, we got Tabitha Ricci versus Jillian Robertson. This is full on grappler versus grappler. Whoever's on top is going to win the fight in my mind. And I think that will be Tabitha Ricci, I believe. I think it will be an over. Ricci's shown some finishing ability. Actually, they've both shown finishing ability, but if they're both such high level grapplers, will one tap the other? I'm not sure, but I do like Ricci to get this done. Women's fight, I'm not sure how much money I'd be throwing on it, but I favor Ricci. What do you think? And what are the odds?
It's minus 125 for Ricci, and she's my luck of the card. So I've broken down Jillian Robertson so many times. She wins fights when she can out wrestle the other girl. Here, I think she's out wrestled. Remember, we had bet her against her with Peoria, thinking Peoria could out wrestle Jillian.
You were confident that
Right?
she wouldn't be able
Yeah,
to get PR
yeah,
down.
yeah. She did. But now you're talking about Ricci. Ricci's a way better wrestler than fucking Peoria is. Plus, she's the only loss she has in the UFC is to Manofiro, taken on like short notice, right? Then three subsequent fights after Maria Oliveira, 5 takedowns, wins unanimous decision. Polyana Vienna, 5 takedowns, wins unanimous decision. In 2 rounds, she took down Jessica Penne 4 times and subbed her with an armbar. And she's faced Polyana Vienna and Jessica Penne, who are also Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belts, who also work on the ground a ton. Just like Jillian Robertson's best part of her game is her grappling. So Tabitha Ricci has been in there with grapplers, with high level grapplers who could tap her out. And she's gone to the floor with them numerous times and defended herself well and never was close to being tapped. So yeah, I'm very confident Tabitha Ricci in this fight. Very confident.
I like her too. I didn't realize she's only a -125. I thought she was going to be a big favorite. So that's maybe might want to hammer that early, guys, because that line's probably going to move, I think. Moving on, we got Matthias Rebecki versus Loic Radzhabov. To be perfectly honest, for me, this is the only fight I'm not really interested in. They both have good records. They both have great records. I don't think it's going to be the greatest fight. Yeah, this is the only one that I have nothing invested in. It's a pass for me. I'm not even sure who I would lean here. Do you have any leans, and what are the odds? What are you thinking?
Well, the odds are Rebecki. He's a slight favorite at like one -130 ish. And so it's grappler versus grappler here. So I mean, if you look at the measurables, Rebecki's got a takedown accuracy of 62% and a defense of 66%. But Loic there in his one fight, he was a takedown defense of 100%. Just one fight though. Takedown accuracy of 52%. But the sick part of that 52% is that he has 11 takedowns in that fight. So that means he shot over 20 takedowns in that fight. So is he going to do that same game plan against Matus Rebecki? And how well is he going to fare against Matus Rebecki? Rebecki looked pretty good against Nick Fiore, striking 3 takedowns, 89 strikes, very good. And he looked good at that sub against Rodrigo Lidio in the
Hey,
Dana White series. Yeah, what's up?
sorry, don't mean to cut you off, buddy, but we learned, was it 2 weeks ago? Nick Fiore fucking sucks. He lost to Chase Hooper and looked terrible.
Right, that's where I'm coming in here with Loic. I'm not sure that Rebecki is the rightful favorite here because Loic is showing the propensity to like go for massive amount of takedowns. And like 20, he went over 22 takedowns in the last fight. That's what he attempted, man. That's a crazy amount of takedowns. And he hit 11 of them. I know he's letting the guy up, blah, 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 blah. But all that shit takes time. And if he's going to put that kind of wrestling game on this guy, dog or pass. I'm going to go with Loic. Loic by decision, Loic by controlling somehow. I don't know if it's going to be up against a cage or on the ground or whatever, but I'm going with the underdog here.
So I think it's pretty safe to say we like the over as well.
Oh yeah, I don't see these guys are like pillow. I've watched Loic a lot, even PFL and stuff. Pillow fisted doesn't really go for it. Kind of tires once the wrestling takes a little toll on these guys. So, oh well.
All right, moving on. We got, for me, this is actually one of my most exciting fights of the night. We got Tatsuro Taira versus Clayton Rodrigues. Tatsuro is a grappling phenom, 13-0, tons of submissions. Looks effortless the way he always gets those. He always takes your back. He always gets the body triangle. He finds the submissions. He's extremely talented. And Clayton Rodrigues is a fucking beast too, man. Like I'm a big Clayton fan, and like this is a classic grappler versus striker. And Tatsuro or Clayton, sorry, opened as a plus 475 underdog, which I thought was insane because yes, Tatsuro's looked amazing, but eventually somebody's going to be able to stuff these takedowns. And what's going to happen when they do stuff that takedown? Because you got to figure, at least for me, I'm assuming if this fight's a kickboxing fight, Rodrigues is going to fuck him up. I think on the feet, I favor Rodrigues. I haven't seen any striking from Tatsuro really, and his takedown defense is going to be the big question here. Now, the line has shifted. I think Clayton now is a plus 300. He was a plus 475. So I missed the boat at plus 475. I would have definitely taken the stab on Rodrigues. Plus 300, I still might take that stab. I think the play is it doesn't go the distance because Tatsuro is either going to take him down and tap him, or Rodrigues is going to stuff the takedown and knock him out. Am I crazy? I don't know. What do you think here? What are you thinking?
I think minus 375 is way too wide.
Way too wide.
Way too wide. And it's not like Tatsuro has this like stifling wrestling game. He did take down CJ Vergara 3 times, right? But that's their main. And then Vergara beat Klidson, and Klidson took down CJ Vergara 2 times in that fight, and Vergara won a split decision against Klidson. Taira tapped him out, right? That's their main. That's their common opponent there. And then against Candelario, he only took him down once. He got taken out twice himself. And against Jesse Aguiar, he only needed the one because that guy's not that good. So it's not like he's got a blistering wrestling game. So, well, if you watch any Klidson tape, you know this guy's gonna go after it. He's gonna go after it hard. He's gonna go after it hard in the first round. So Taira better get ready for Klidson to come after him in the first round. Because if he doesn't like, so it's going to come down to Klidson catching him with like a punch or something, or that wrestling game of Taira. Well, Klidson likes to use the takedown too, but the problem is I wouldn't fucking play in that world with Taira. I wouldn't play in that world with Tatsuro at all, not at all. Play in that world. So, you're not crazy. This is styles make fights, and you got the better grappler, but you don't have the better wrestler.
And Clayton's fucking jacked, man. Like you got to think he should be the stronger guy. So you don't think
Well,
there's a world where he can fucking block stuff that takedown and just knock him the fuck out? No.
Well, yeah, I do. I think there's a world that he does that, and I think that's like it's. I haven't seen blistering wrestling from Taira, so I give Clint. I'm not putting Taira in my. I don't feel safe putting him in any parlays. So I mean, I'm gonna probably either dog shot Clinton or pass on the fight. I would play the under because I like the under as well. Because Taira's either getting smashed or he's gonna just tap this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Dog under or pass. There's
Yeah.
no way I'm putting money on Tatsuro at those odds.
No, I mean I parlay some minus 375 sometimes, but safe ones that I don't feel safe here.
Yeah. Moving on, I think this is another fun fight. David Onama versus Gabriel Santos. I think this is going to be a great fight. I thought Santos maybe not use the robbery word, but he did a short notice fight against Lerone Murphy not too long ago, and I thought he did enough to get the nod personally. And Lerone Murphy's a great fighter, so I'm gonna. I mean, Onama's big, so maybe he can kind of do the same thing. But I don't know. I like Santos. I'm going to give Santos another shot here. I think I'm going to go with Santos. What do you think? And what are the odds?
The odds are minus 225 Santos. But
Oh,
that's well worth. I mean, that's granted. David Onama was looking at his record. He ended this past fight against Landwehr. He got broken. When the guy doesn't go down in the first round and succumb to David Onama's pressure and power, so he has 2 wins or in the first round by knockout. If the guy has any sort of durability and goes like so, he lost to Mason Jones and he lost to the last guy he lost to fucking Nate Landwehr. Guys that are durable that could take that first round beating and then just come back with a vengeance, right? So Gabriel Santos, if he showed anything, his chin is fucking rock solid. Took Lerone Murphy's best punches and kept coming. And to be honest, he mixed a good flowing striking game into like mix of the wrestling. Boom, 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 and he would end with a takedown, right? He did that on Murphy at the end of the first round of that fight, and he hit him again in the third round with that same combination. It was like punch, punch, low kick, boom, right into the takedown. Fucking great combination. Was flowing really well. So yeah, Onama, he has power. So if Santos's chin looked as good as it did in the last fight, then he might lose the first round. Maybe grab him live. That might be even something good too. He might lose the first round, but he'll come back stronger than David Onama.
Yeah, I think Santos is better than Nate Landwehr. Honestly, I think
I
he
think
is. I
so
think he.
too. I think so too. He's
All
more
right,
polished.
moving on. We got Brendan Allen versus Bruno Silva. Honestly, this is another good fight. Actually, another fun fight. Brendan Allen's got some momentum after that big win over the grappler guy, the guy who tapped Jacare, the really good grappler. Forget his name. Munoz. Is it Munoz or something?
Muniz.
Yeah. So he's coming off, and he tapped him. So wicked win for Brendan Allen. And then you got Bruno Silva, who is fantastic for a round or two. Great power, can knock out anybody in the world. And then he fades. So to me, this fight is going to be doesn't go the distance. Brendan Allen has been knocked out before. Bruno Silva hits extremely hard. Silva's going to have to get him out of there and knock him out early, or he's going to end up gassing and getting overwhelmed with the volume and the pace of Brendan Allen. So for me, it's doesn't go the distance. Straight winner. Oh, it's a tough one, man. Because honestly, I could see Silva getting that knockout potentially, but I like Brendan Allen's momentum, and I think his pace will break Silva eventually. You know what? Give me Brendan Allen, but conservatively doesn't go the distance. What do you think?
It's not going the distance, I don't think. But I do
What are
like
the odds too? Sorry.
Brendan Allen's the favorite. Minus 165, minus 180 some places. Yeah, minus 180. I don't know, man. I like Brendan Allen in this fight. You don't now you look at it, he lost that fight that he was winning to Chris Curtis, like in true Chris Curtis fashion. But before that, he was on a 2-fight winning streak with his only loss to Sean Strickland. So like man, and he's beaten a lot of good guys. Kevin Holland, uh Christoph Jocko, Andre Muniz, Puna Haley. So he's on a 4-fight win streak. I think he's got all the momentum going his way. Bruno Silva, just before that Brad Tavares fight, was on a 2-fight losing streak. He just got tapped out by was it GM3? Let me double check here. Yeah,
No, he got
tapped out by
was
GM3. Yeah, tapped out by GM3 right before that win against Tavares, and he lost a striking battle to Alex Pereira.
that was a close fight.
That was a close. Well, numbers here show Alex Pereira 108 to 59. Doesn't seem that close.
Pretty sure he rocked him at one point. I think it was a 29-28. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's unanimous, but he had 2 takedowns. Maybe that's yeah, I don't know, man. He's succumbed to losing on the gas tank, and he does stick his neck out there. So Brendan Allen, if he doesn't get knocked out in the first round, should be very live to win this fight. Brendan Allen by sub, second round is my
All
call.
right. There we go. Moving on. Actually, I think I'm looking at the wrong fight. I think you just told me there's a breaking replacement. We got Cedric Dumas, whatever you want to call him, versus. Didn't you say there's a replacement?
Yeah, who is it? Who is it? Not Punahele. It is Cody Brundage.
Cody Brundage. Okay, so we got Cedric Dumas, who fucked us a couple fights ago, or his last fight, he got wrestle fucked by Josh Fremd. And I kind of liked him against Soriano because at least he was going against another striker, someone who would let him stand and bang. But now he's going. Don't get me wrong, Cody Brundage is not good at all. At all. The guy gets finished left, right, and center. So Cody Brundage is either going to take him down at will and wrestle fuck him, or Dumas is going to finish Brundage like Brundage always gets finished. Man, I put a lot of money on Dumas last time, and I called myself a dumbass for doing it.
We
And
said that right after.
and once again, I actually still like Dumas to win this fight, but I can't put money on. I can't. I'll feel so stupid if I lose on this idiot again. I'm gonna pick for the purpose of picking a winner. I think Cody Brundage sucks, and I'm gonna take Dumas. But Brundage, he's a wrestler. He should be able to take him down. I'm passing. I'm not playing it. What do you think? What are the odds? What do you think?
There is no odds out right now for this because it's just been announced, it looks like. Uh Brundage has lost to Rodolfo Vieira and Michael Olajaychuk. And Dumas has faced nobody close to Rodolfo Vieira and Michael Olajaychuk. He beat Tresean Gore, beat Dolce, lost to Nick Maximov, which is a bad look. But I can't pick dumbass. He looked like he was fading at the end of the first round. Um, if Cody would pace himself a little bit better than he does and not just go balls to the wall as soon as these fights start, he'd be a better fighter. Because what he does is he loosens that gas tank loosens out too against Vieira. I think he may have won that first round against Vieira. It was pretty close. Um, Vieira, he had most of the control of Vieira, and then he just got flipped over right at the end of the round. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna pick Cody Brundage though, because I've seen the blueprint and he's a veteran. He should be able to follow the blueprint to beat such a dumbass. And we both said after the last time that we picked this dumbass that we can't bet on a dumbass again.
Yeah,
So
we broke one of our rules. We bet big on a newcomer, and we always said until they fucking pass the eye test of
yeah,
real
man,
competition.
that's not getting a cent of my money. I might bet the under maybe in some sort of like under parlay, but I don't even know if I'm going to touch this.
The crazy thing is, once again, like Dumas came in with a ton of hype, and they were fucking playing the shit out of like footage, showing him off like crazy. He lost to Josh fucking Fremd, who's not good either. And once again, this guy finds himself in the featured fight. Like, why do they love this guy so much? I don't get it. Obviously, it's his look or something. But I'm sorry, if he loses here to Cody Brundage, gone. Bye-bye. You're cut. Like, this is the end of the road here. He has to win this fight.
Yeah, I cut his ass.
All right, moving on. We got the co-main event: Amanda Ribas versus Macy Barber.
Yeah.
To me, Ribas is better everywhere except for chin and except for the judges' decisions. Macy Barber is known for robbing everybody. She always looks like she loses to me, and she always gets the fucking rub. So I'd be scared to bet against her, but I think Ribas is the better submission grappler for sure, and I think she's better on the feet too. So is Barber going to take her down and pound on her from the top? Maybe. I don't know. I don't really think so. So I do like Ribas, but I wouldn't trust the judges to get it right. So I don't know what are the odds and what do you think?
The odds are minus 185, plus 150 on Macy Barber. I am parlaying Amanda Hebos with Tabitha Ricci in my all WMMA parlay for next week. I like those two ladies a lot. I don't see where Hebos is not the better fighter in this fight. She's the better striker, like you said. She's a better technical striker. Out of the two, Macy Barber does have a little more of the aggression. Um, Brute strength, maybe, but she's not really a bully. If you ever watched her, Amanda Hebos has the better wrestling. She's definitely got the better grappling. We only say she doesn't have the chin because she got knocked out by Marina Rodriguez, but has Macy Barber ever fought Marina Rodriguez? No. So we don't know if she's never fought a power puncher to the extent of a Marina Rodriguez. There's not that many. It's not like she fought a Jai Li Wang or a JJ or any of them girls in there. So you haven't seen this thing. So I don't think Amanda Hebos is getting knocked out here. This isn't over. And I don't think it's close. It's because Macy Barber makes her fights close. I think she gets dominated in this fight. I think like it's like a clear cut Amanda Hebos decision. Like I'm gonna take her down. I'm gonna sit in her guard, or she's gonna pop shot her. Who's that fight that Amanda Hebos just had, where he sure jab looked magnificent?
I think it was Ariana
Viviana
Arujo or something.
Rujo, yeah, her fucking jab looked magnificent in that fight.
Even against Chukagian, she did great on the feet. Like it was
Oh
a very,
yeah, yeah.
very close fight.
That one could have been yelled at minor robbage there too, but
Split decision.
I had Chukagian by decision, like you always bet a Chukagian fight. But yeah, I mean, and then she fought Verna. She wasn't completely outdone against Verna.
She beat I mean? Verna.
Yeah,
yeah.
So yeah, so I mean though, man. So like, so she's also fought the better competition, right? Macy Barber's fighting the Andrea Lees and the Miranda Mavericks of the world, losing.
And she lost to Miranda Maverick, and Miranda Maverick is turned out to be shit.
Right. So yeah, man, this isn't fucking close. That Tabitha Ricci fight isn't close. I'm gonna fucking parlay my girls. I sent them a message to that on DM to come on our show one time, but it's never gonna happen. So I sent it to Tabitha Ricci, but we'll see what'll happen. Yo, those two girls, I feel like this is my second favorite law. I hate WMMA, but these two girls seem like they got the match, the check marks in these matches. So
All right, moving on. We got the main event of the night: Josh Emmett versus Ilia Topuria. Uh, Great fight. I think this is mostly going to be striker versus striker. I mean, they both Emmett can wrestle and Topuria can wrestle. Topuria can grapple, but I think this is going to play out on the feet, and I think somebody's going down here, and I think that somebody is Josh Emmett. For sure, Emmett has a chance. He hits like a truck. Topuria has been dropped by
Jai Herbert. Jai Herbert.
Yes. I like Jai Herbert.
Yeah, me too. I like Jai Herbert too.
Yeah. So I mean, Topuria can be dropped, but you know what? He came back and won that fight in the most devastating knockout ever. So, I mean, he stuck with it. He's 13-0, got a ton of finishes. He's fresh off that destruction of Bryce Mitchell, made him look like a child in there, like just threw him around like a rag doll and beat the living shit out of him. So I think this is a bad comeback fight for Josh Emmett. And I feel bad for the guy. He was on a good heater himself, so close to the title shot, and then he just lost to Yair Rodrigues. Unfortunately, like it doesn't get any easier here. Like this is a scarier fight almost. I mean, Rodrigues is a creative striker, sure, and he's got power in his own right, but Topuria, he sleeps people viciously. So I actually think this might be the end of the road and retirement for Josh Emmett if this goes the wrong way here. So I got Ilia Topuria, and I think in this stylistic matchup and being 5 rounds, like when the prop drops, like, I'm not even going to bet it yet. I'm going to be betting on a finish to get extra value. So I got Topuria by finish. What are the odds, and what do you got?
Yeah, well, Taporia is a minus 300 in this spot, right? So, yeah, it's not great, but I think he's going to win too, right? So it's a 69-inch reach. What is Josh Emmett? Josh Emmett's a 70, so they're close there. Emmett is a wrestler, but doesn't use any wrestling, right? Taporia is actually used as wrestling more. And you're not taking Taporia down. He has a 92% takedown defense, right? So this fight's going to go where Taporia wants it to go. So, yeah, I mean, it's got to look like Yair, right? I mean, Tuporia has beaten some decent guys here. Jay Herbert, Bryce Mitchell. Josh Emmett is a nice the likely step up. Josh Emmett was on quite the win streak before he lost his last fight to Yair, too, like you said as well. Danny Gay beat Kelvin Cater, Shane Burgos, Mirsad Bektik, the one and only Mirsad Bektik, and Michael Johnson. And he got slapped by Jeremy Stevens. He got slapped by Desmond Green, too. Anyway, yeah, Topuria is the younger fighter. He's also the more explosive fighter. And I feel like he's going to club him and sub him. So that's my pick. Club and sub. Topuria by submission. Third, in the second, third round. It's kind of like Yair was just marching him down. Topuria is going to do the same thing. Going to march him down. I thought the measurables might be a little bit more in Josh Emmett's favor, but no, they're pretty much the same size. Emmett does have the one punch power, but that's it. You can't bet on a one punch knockout. You bet on the guy that's going to win the fight. The minute winner is Ilia Topuria by far. I mean, you can take the blueprint from any one of his fights. And he's shown resiliency too, right? So with these younger fighters, you're like, oh man, they haven't faced any resiliency yet. But like, no, he could have lost to that just the lesser of a fighter, Jay Herbert, but he fought back. I'm glad to the referee let him fight back too, right?
And he took that fight on short notice and moved up in weight to lightweight.
Right.
So it's not such a bad look at all. And Topuria fights like a goddamn berserker. So like he comes out guns blazing. So this fight is not going to go long. I feel like this is going to be a very short fight. I'm going to say less than 2 rounds.
Five rounds to get this shit done?
This is under 2.5. For me, this is definitely under 2.5.
The conservative pick is probably under 3.5, but yeah, under 2.5 for sure.
I think I doubted him a little bit. Like I wanted to see him face that wrestler in Mitchell. He passed that test. There's no more question marks around him for me. I think he's quite potentially a future champion. Like that's how good he is. So I think this is one-way traffic. I think this is there's not too much to scratch your head about here. I think he's pretty safe here.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Do you what your best? What are your best calls on this card?
Okay, so I was actually just about to say, unfortunately, my book doesn't have odds out yet. I know at the end of the videos I like to show some parlays. I can't show you that because there's nothing for me to bet on or to show. Look out for Thursday because we will have some updated bets then. As for right now, the early predictions and early confident picks, I love Ilia Taporia. I like Amanda Ribas. I like Gabriel Santos, Tabitha Ricci, and Justin Tafa. I like all of them. Those are all pretty damn confident. And you know what? Randy Brown, Randy Brown as well. I like all of them, and all like pretty high level confidence as well, to be honest. So
Yeah,
I think
well,
this might actually be a good card for betting. I normally say I'll wait for the pay-per-views and everything. As of right now, I like all those spots a lot. So
yeah, me too, buddy. Like
yeah, any
high
that I missed?
confidence, no, high confidence in Randy Brown here. High confidence in Tabitha Ricci. And Ribas is another decently confident pick. It's just the barber thing always in the back of your head, right? So fuck. I mean, other than that, I like Neil Magny. I know you don't like the guy, but I'm just taking
I don't like that as a bet.
No, Jamal Emmers. I like Jamal Emmers. And what's the other one we talked about? The peak under, the Brendan Allen under. So there's a lot of confident picks on this card that I like. But I mean the two girl fights. Well, I tell you, I
You can
go
almost
Randy
make a bet
Brown.
on every single fight.
Well, Randy Brown and Tabitha Ricci, I'm gonna probably put a unit on the two of those. So because a unit for me is $100. So like yeah, I mean whatever that gives me. If I can get 2 or 3 to 1 on that, that'd be nice. Tabitha Ricci being at 125. I am gonna wait a little bit, but just maybe a couple days just to see where the lines go. But I don't think that's gonna get any better. Jillian Robertson gets mad respect, right? But it's when she gets out wrestled. Tabitha Ricci went to the ground with Pollyanna Vienna, who's the same type of black belt as fucking Jillian Robertson. Like they do the same kind of grappling. They're not good wrestlers, they're good grapplers. Vienna actually showed that she's a better striker. Jillian Robertson is a horrendous striker. So Tabitha Ricci has some striking as well. And if she's smart, she might just keep this one standing and she'll win a striking battle, like hands down. But if they stand striking, then it's a decision. I like to see a finish in women's MMA. So Tabitha Ricci, Randy Brown, two very, very high confidence picks, followed by Hebos and Ilia Taporia right after those two right there. So those are my four main picks. I will throw together probably Jamal Emmers and maybe something else and throw together some parlays for the coming week.
Yeah. I mean, once again, I usually shit on these fight night cards. I think there's a lot of good plays here. I think there's a lot of money to be made on this card. And my sleeper fight of the night is that Tatsuro versus Clayton Rodrigues. Not so much for betting, but I think it's such an interesting prospect versus prospect fight. So like as a fan, I'm very interested in that fight. Pretty decent card. I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too.
Look out for Thursday. We will give an updated video because, like I said, I can't even bet anything right now. There's no props out yet, so maybe we're gonna find even more spots that we like. So Thursday we'll give an update, and look out for that. Like and subscribe. We'll talk to you then. Have a good one.